That's right, we're back in the mine. Back in the church. I have 33 out of 50 titles named. And I adore this game so much. It's actually been a couple weeks maybe since I did my second stream of this game. And as I talked about in my stream last week, I do want to finish this. I don't always want to complete Inkle games. And actually, recently, maybe I'll get into this a little later. John was just recently on a podcast where he talked about sort of misapprehensions of finishing games or completing games or whatever. Which I deeply agree with him, and it's one of the things I love so much about Inkle games. However, that's a different direction. When you give me a little 33 out of 50 bar right there to look at, I'm close enough. I kind of want to try to get there. So I'm doing this, obviously. Well, maybe not obvious. This is a recording. This is not a live stream. And the reason I'm doing that is partly two reasons. As I talked about in my previous stream when I was suggested that I would do this as a recording. One reason is I don't know how long it will take. Obviously, I'm, like 3/5 of the way there. However, I don't really know. It's not always even, right? So I don't know if the final 2/5 are going to be as long, longer, shorter than the first two. I don't know. And not having to stream takes a lot of pressure off of me for like thinking, is this going to be, just a 30-minute thing? Is this going to be 5 hours? I don't know. But I'll figure it out. And then the other thing is, I think even just when I was streaming this game, but I feel like especially for the back half, there's going to be, I think, probably a little bit of grunt work that I may just need to kind of lock in and not focus on being, entertaining, for example. And again, just not streaming minimizes the distractions, and also just, I don't have to focus on like checking in with chat. And often I don't have active chatters, so that's not a problem anyway. But again, this just simplifies things a little so that I can really focus on finishing this using my noggin. Yeah, so I will put some effort into doing that. And the thing I have here is that I don't have actually very many leads, which is one of the reasons I think this might be a tricky tricky thing. I don't know, make prints. Deep storage files exist. Anyway, also, wait, hold on. Can I go to modify settings? I could reduce hints for this. These settings came out after I played the game. I think I'm just gonna play it the default way. Reducing hints might be more fun for me, but I think just to keep continuity with the first part of the game, I'm just gonna leave it as is. But yeah, like I said, I don't really feel like
then.
I have.
The weapon of the enemy? The moon sword?
Can I go to IA-42? I just yeah. I don't have a lot of leads, so I think getting started might be the longer part of this. Did I have to delete this in order to...
He stood on the brink of
I might have accidentally deleted it, I don't know.
of something else. He was a man, yes, but now more than a man. From his back, the long, articulated extra limb coiled up around his head. He heard her laugh once, and then he jumped, falling and rising, both and all at once.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. But we finished Isambard Arklovich. Which leaves us with... I have to be honest, I don't know what the red dots mean. I just don't know what the red dots mean. If I go to a red dot, does this divine anything for me? Is that telling me that there's a... you know, I played this game for not a short period of time. This is Jane Austen.
Fix on the hour or the spot or the look or the words which laid the foundation. It is too long ago. I was in the minute before I knew that I had begun.
So did that... I want to see, did that clear... Whoops. Did it? No, it did not clear the button, the red button. So I have no idea what that red button is. I really don't know. But let's see, what... These are titles that I have, which just this seems like the best place to look. Titles that I have that I could track down. I don't have any literary theories acknowledged. So really probably the best way to start on this is to determine what, you know, to align my date for literary theory. So I'm assuming it's LR. Literary review number 1. Well, that makes things easier. So 0 is 1. I just have to... It starts in 1900. This index has no source. I can't find literary review number 1. Printed yearly from 1900 by a small press, except for during the 2 Great Wars. It's been eaten the old-fashioned way, by time. Machine suggests what it contained, a mission statement like the one in Literary Review 59. Notable things from that year. Pemberton. Adverts for Ouija boards, candles, and photography materials. Should I find a copy, I'll feed it in. Do I have Pemberton 00? Yes, I do. List exists for this publisher. I don't know how to open that. I just don't. But let's go to LR59 and see which one that is. It would be 58. Or no, 60. It would be 60. Add one. Which is not one of the numbers I have.
There's a title right here. Literary.
Oh wait, but it doesn't publish.
Volume 50.
It doesn't publish during the
Literary
Great
Review,
Wars.
Volume 50.
So it's offset by 10 years. 39 to 44, and yeah. Already got a Steam achievement. We're on the right track. Volume 50 sets out a new mission for the review. No more spiritualism, no more talking to the dead with candles and smoke, 1900 values are out. From now on, it's all about science and talking to the dead with telephones and radio sets. Then they start tearing apart the mystics. And first in line, my HP-56, a cheap copy. Well, it's true enough, but I'll live on. You might celebrate, but so can I. This archive's hit a milestone. I'll make a separate entry for that under CC. What is my HP-56? Have I been there? Yes, that's perplexing astrality.
Why do we? Well, to be elsewhere. To change this world out for another. How long does this change last?
LR detests
As
these
long as
books
it
so much.
takes for the glow of the words to fade from our eyes. Here's what I've learned. The more we
Publication.
do,
I
the
need.
more
So
music is created. What a
I
splendid
Cecil
thing.
bought Hammerstone and published this machine's version of Astral Perplexities, which was by Quentin, but it was lost. Quentin 11. Interesting. Okay. But the literary review didn't like it. All right, but we have a terminus. We have Termini now. I do have to do a little bit of math here. This would have been in 1919, but for the war. So it's what? No. What? That's not the key I wanted to press. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Where is it? 22. Oh, wow. My math is way off. 1903? Was the First World War only 3 years? Well, I know what this is. So.
Literary Review, Volume 18.
If we write like cowards and we talk like cowards,
If we write like cowards and we talk like cowards, we become cowards. A coward will stick up for no one, even themselves. Dictators love a good coward. They are easy meat. They taste like chicken.
promoting spiritualism in 1922 meant staying on the attack. This year, Literary Review rounded on another small publisher, Hammerstone, for publishing anonymously. Followers of the occult risked ridicule, so then should everyone else, but Hammerstone Press was dying anyway. Utopia Within Reach was their last book. Meanwhile, the review claims to have contacted Pemberton, received clues to help understand her deathbed work. Details next issue. Spiritualists never change, except I already saw we didn't get next issue. Okay, that's okay. Well, I have literary review 50 is in 59, so 53 should be number 44.
Literary Review, Volume 44.
Yes, I'll let the guy read.
Yes, Kendrick was known for his quick wit and roving eye.
Like the
But
mollusk,
what was less well known
wandering.
was that he was a sucker punch if you smiled at him. The first woman to figure this out was Emma Mayflower, and she took him to the cleaners.
And other misdemeanors. It's a little Ian Dury reference. Years of hard debunking has left literary review jaded. But sometimes they get a juicy bone to gnaw. Volume 44 details how Kendrick's research was stolen in the late 20s when the professor had an inappropriate affair with a student. The man has no shame. In the shadow of a passage, he spills it, garters and all. But Kendrick doesn't point the finger at who was the mastermind behind the theft. The Review does, Joshua Silverton. They celebrate this in Volume 50 as an historical event of timeline significance. Here come the 60s. Okay, I think I knew most of all of this. 72 would be 22 years after 50, which would be 81.
Literary Review, Volume 72.
Woohoo!
The idea that we might bring someone back from the dead has always fascinated the human mind, to unwrite that most final of writings. It was the death of the man I truly loved that made me think of it, and the Marchand's work showed me the way. And it worked. I knew almost as soon as it was published.
Literary Review interviews the 72-year-old Emma Kendrick as though they hadn't tried to discredit her 16 years before. Okay. Note 55. She's. No, it's not 55. 65. She's worked them over and they don't even know it. Oh, and they mention us, the only known copy of Youngman's 78 work on the intangibility of matter. I think I already have this.
Better note this title
Oh
down.
no, I don't.
On the intangibility of matter.
And that is this.
On the intangibility of matter.
They say the only known copy of Youngman's 1978 work on the intangibility of matter is in the private archive of one Cecil Calderly. Didn't do any research, clearly. My first proper card, Dad. I hope I've done it right. I did a log first. So the Literary Review didn't know that he died. She doesn't mention her late husband. That is Emma Kendrick. She does hint a new one's coming in, but she knows what she's got. She knows what her book can do. Christ, Dad, it wasn't an accident. She knew. Did she send PK mad as well? Or was that someone else? His own 74 account blames it on a book. Guess I could believe that now. PK, is he the one who died? It's been a little bit for me. Pinkin Kendrick. No, it was right before he was committed. Men must devour. Okay. So let's take a... Well, let me add 16 here. Ah, shit. Sorry, subtract 16. Would be 66. Except it's Literary Review 66. And it's not in here unless my math was that bad. Oh, it was 16 years, not 15. That wasn't my bad math, that was me forgetting what number of years it was. I don't have Literary Review volume whatever. I don't have the title. The review covers Emma Kendrick's, presumably Emma... Oh. Did I have this before? No? No? It's surely not Doom Wild. No. The Weapon of the Enemy. Another novel. There are too many of these in here now. They're like weeds. Mrs. Kendrick writes well enough. A Chinese immigrant finds beauty in the woods. But what does that have to say about the matters of importance? I heard review volume
Another
56,
title.
thank you.
Literary Review, Volume 56.
Claimed her husband wrote this. I think they don't know her older work. The title alone gives her way.
Dead voice.
Dead voice is EK-36. What does Alice have to say about this? Last book was better, though. It's a bit weird. Finally found a copy. It was published the year Dad died. Okay.
Heart sees more than the eye.
Oh.
The eye can be made to see.
I found this one
Given
before.
space to conceive
This was a
and
pretty
heard and
important one.
rejoice, for we find the heart open and the sky closed.
That it isn't Doomwild?
Doomwild?
Apparently not. Let me go here.
Matter in the
No.
dark?
Let me go to LR-65. Just to open this up.
The novel, ostensibly by Mrs. Kendrick, but clearly written by her prolific husband, in an attempt to escape the stigma now attached to his name, goes so far as to have its protagonist outright a woman, disguised as a man, throughout most of this ludicrous book.
Okay. Just gonna pop on over back here, because it was EK-36 was the... Oh, but her name was not EK, it was... What was it? I gotta look it up. It's been a little bit Mayfleur, that's right. Okay, that I actually have heard, I just forgot. No excuse. This
Dead voice.
this is Dead Voice.
Begone, spirit, unless you have something to tell me. Come closer, for you seem familiar to my eye.
Novel penned by Emma Mayfleur. I just inserted a word. I think I grabbed it from appended. A medium can see ghosts of people who have not yet died. They tell her how they died, and so she is able to save them, until the medium herself dies, only to tell herself how to avoid it. The paradox ends the book. 8 years later, E.M. married, changed her name. Perhaps she had a child. 8 years after that, aged 43, she restarted her novelist career a second time, keeping the naming scheme from her early work. So that would be 8 and 8 would be 54. No. $1909. Years, 43 years after 1909 is 54, isn't it? Is it just not in this book? Oh, fucking... After she married. No? Should be 54. Is it? It might just not be in here. But this is not Doomwild?
Doomwild?
No.
Doomwild?
I feel like this is probably the one, but let's let's go XY78, just again to clear that out.
When a single man imagines a better future, he does not expect it to come to pass. But when 100 men do the same, when their wives and their children imagine it too, that future is all but guaranteed. Make no mistake, the world is the sum of our beliefs.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I had done all of these when I streamed, but I am just gonna brute force a
Dark
little here.
matter in the veil. Matter in the dark. Doomwild. On a life unlived. The weapon of the enemy.
Yeah, I'm sure I've tried all of these before.
Dark matter
but
in the veil.
except for that one, apparently. Sometimes you just gotta double check.
The universe is more than the sum of its components, with the rest dark, energies, and potential left over from creation. Our universe is not an object under glass, but an uncompleted thing.
Okay, let's see. Doomwild? Matter in the dark? The weapon of the enemy?
I know.
On a life unlived?
It has the same naming convention as Dead Voice. Let me just work up
Unless you
here.
have something to tell me. Come closer, for you seem familiar to my
8 years later, EM changed her name. Perhaps she had a child. Am I fucking stupid? This is why I don't have any excuse for me being bad at math. That's not even bad at math.
Doomwild.
That would I double triple checked like 3 times and it was wrong. I can do the billiard puzzles in blueprints like no problem.
But by the evening she would do nothing more than to jump on the nearest train and head into the sea. It was like her life was a song whose tune she was constantly forgetting.
Dune Wild. Emma Mayfleur's first novel after her marriage to Kendrick is night and day compared to her earlier work. Writing about marriage is improved by it. Who knew? Doom of the title applies to the career of the protagonist, a young woman who enters the stultifyingly male-dominated world of academia. But she's brilliant, better than the rest, like Elle Woods, and of course she comes out on top in the end. It skewers her own husband. His novel from the previous year is acutely lampooned. Maybe this is what sent him loopy. In short, it's a gas. I've got to find her last book now, which was End Piece. His novel from the previous year, do I have PK-51?
I send her flowers. She
Yes,
sends
I
them
do.
back. I send her letters. She sends them back. I dragged her to my room and I told her, and she wouldn't listen. So I had to give her something that she valued.
Okay. Okay, well. I don't have a title for this, I don't think. Not yet. Yeah, it's the title gives it alone. Let me look at this note again. last book was better. End piece was better. Dead voice, end piece, something else. What do the stars mean? Sorry, I'm just trying to... I'm only missing 4 titles.
It has begin with a control sign.
I have something in my eye also, and rubbing it, I know, isn't helping. I know this, and yet... What is the asterisk? Maybe it's the list? Journal would run. List exists for this publisher. Let me try something. AJ-47. LR-7. No. LR-1. 4. 5. No, that's not gonna work. AJ. I'm trying to spell AJ.
I would have printed this.
That's not it.
I do not wish to be shot for it. I choose to be shot for more serious matters. I come to the home of rational thought. It has begin with a control sign.
I'm pretty sure A is 4. I don't know what J. Is there a letter for J? Previous, last, edit, beat. Make, wipe. I don't know of J. I could go through the maze and try to find out J, but I don't even know that's what this code is. Open. Oh. That open. That's the options. I was like, what did I do? It's the options. Credit, feed, set, redo, or reboot, play. Inkle. I'm actually just curious. Can I open the settings from anywhere? Yeah, I can. Cool.
Okay, let's see.
I mean, I've got to just I've got to poke around a little more. I'm only missing 4 titles and 5 entries. Is all I'm missing. But at this point,
All right then.
I am nearly out of leads. I think I have... Cecil wrote something, he said. What year was that? I didn't write it down. CC-49. CC-58? CC-54? 52. was in the Literary Review 56. Maybe?
The novel, ostensibly by Mrs. Kendrick, but clearly written by
What?
her prolific husband.
Green Walker.
How did I never find that? The review covers E.K.'s new book only because she once wrote about spiritualism. And they say Green Walker marks the nadir of Pink and Kendrick's work.
Green Walker.
Imagine Mrs. Kendrick's fury. Wouldn't want to be the editor of Literary Review when she releases her next. Power is growing.
Okay, let's see.
I got Green Walker. Let's read the excerpt.
Jin knew that to leave the path was to commit a great transgression, but the call of every rock and shrub was too strong, and Listener was watching.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I've had Quentin for so long. It's a different... What was the Literary Review one that said something about Cecil's... Am I just misremembering? Was it talking about his Hammerstone Press? Yeah, it was. It was this, I think. No. I'll make a separate entry for that under CC. CC 59. Machine is 10 years old today. Oh, I think I found this. It's just not a core. It's not a core thing. XY78. I've been there.
When a single man imagines a better future, he does not expect it to come to pass. But when 100 men do the same, when their wives and their children imagine it too,
Yeah, this is one of the ones I had to delete.
is all but guaranteed. Make
Recent edition, signed copy of IA's Rampage. It's improvement. It's improving.
Oh, that rat bastard. He turned you against me, Mayflower. Even that wasn't enough. He had to destroy me, my reputation, and mine. Hell, no pit deep enough, but I suppose he will have written himself into heaven. So, I know how it works as well as him.
UL42. Let me see here. On a Life Unlived. That's where I got the title On a Life Unlived, which is one of my unused ones, I think. What do I know about Ursula? She wrote a pamphlet 2 years after her father's death. What year did Pierre Latour die? 71. On a Life Unlived.
On a Life Unlived.
Show me the excerpt.
My father was an imbecile. Imagine living with
that inside your genetic code. And knowing nothing you ever do will get rid of it.
A short, violently angry pamphlet aimed by its author at all fathers everywhere who have the temerity to ignore the needs of their children, having troubled themselves to father them. Lays out point by point a series of crimes committed by the author's father against her own person. Most of these crimes come down to negligence. It seems that Monsieur Latour was so busy editing his journal and discoursing with its contributors that he paid little attention to his own daughter, her development, and her needs. With the lack of a mother, thanks to the war, though you wouldn't know that if you'd read her father's accounts of the period, published the year after he died. I think I have that. The 31-year-old author declares every one of her own failures and then lays it firmly at her father's feet. The pamphlet itself ran 500 copies and was sent out to the mailing addresses of subscribers to her father's journal. My understanding is that the one in my library is now one of only a score that were not destroyed as preposterous nonsense. Miss you, Dad. Okay. Where's Mr. Latour? Pierre Latour. The year after he died, he published something. PL-74. No? Read her father's account of the period published the year after he died. Oh. He died 71. That's life lived in wartime. This ain't no party. I read his age as his year, because this ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. Reverend Alfonso. Christ would not have approved. Who is this? He's barely mentioned. We don't know anything about this guy.
Have the power to rewrite our most basic conceptions. The words we speak have the power to rewrite another's heart. The words we write have the power to rewrite the world. To wield such power is ungodly, but when power exists, it finds a channel. So guard yourself. Keep your words close and
The universe is more than the sum of its components, but the rest being dark, energies, and potential
Read
left
this
over
many
from
times.
creation. Our universe is not a...
the thoughts we think have the power to
Is there
rewrite
really nothing
our
more than
most
this?
basic conceptions. The words
The enemy has gone. The sun shines down on this free nation. We have persevered. It is a thing most glorious.
Already read the book, Words to Live and Die By. Okay. Well. I know it tells me when I've completed everything for a certain author, but I don't know how to see that in hindsight, like afterwards.
Yes, it's great. If you have to, it does not matter. For tomorrow, we will rise.
I'm just looking for stuff where it says
Rain down
there was something
on
else.
the unrighteous.
first whistle, I'm pretty sure I had gotten everything of his. Pretty sure. Maybe that's what the... Maybe that's what these photos are. Maybe that's why some of them are sketches and some of them are photos. But that would mean I don't know Joshua Silverton's One More Letter. It's after 43. Do I brute force it?
Cause of death, mental deterioration.
Final work. Let me look at this.
What we eat, we devour. What
Final work.
Holds. Bindings cannot believe. Reality happens like a dark.
Died 3 years later, 40 years old, ignominious, beaten. There's something very wrong with this letter, but not been able to shake its words from my mind. There's something even more wrong about the letter he wrote after this one, and that was 99. So I basically have the entire century to brute force. Do I need to do this way? Probably not. Okay, so it's not... I'm gonna do it the other direction. 43 was his death certificate. And I'm pretty sure I already checked 44. I checked like a couple years after his death. Just to see. $51. That's a different J. Oh, you nasty motherfucker. John Ingold, you got me. Painstakingly researched, he says, of The Catcher in the Rye. That is what we call in the business a prank on the player. He's like, oh, what, you're gonna brute force looking for Silverton every publish? I'll keep looking though. '77, I think, was when Cecil wrote that entry. So it actually would make sense that Cecil, who called it the final entry, the final letter, might not have seen If I had just gone down from 90, there's all sources by Joshua Silverton identified. And is that going to give him a picture? Dearest Mayflower. Well, this isn't a title, but it might give me something useful. Also, I'm a little cold because I'm wearing a t-shirt, so I do have a blanket on me. Your Arthur has returned from Avalon. Avalon, probably. You always were the cleverest of the three of us. I'm so glad I got to tell you that now. I get to tell you that now every day. I had to tell someone, so I wrote this to tell you, Father. I found this letter. It was slipped inside the copy of RC-92 I found, dated 1985. I even compared the printing, the handwriting. It's definitely Silverton. I know. It can't be. And yet, I wish I could ask you the question that's in my heart, Father, but I can't ask you. I have to. I suppose simply believe. He returned from Avalon. I don't know that I have RC-92.
The weapon of the enemy.
I fucking finally found it. The weapon of the enemy.
When your enemy has an idea, that idea is to be shunned. But the Bible shows us that when your enemy has a weapon, that is God's way of giving that weapon to you. It is meant to be taken. It is meant to be turned.
Interesting. Been looking for this forever, and so for some reason, RC-92 had a copy of Joshua Silverton's post-mortem letter, handwritten. I found this on the floor of the archive hall, Dad. Someone was in here in the years I was away. I know how they found us. My mother's grandfather, William Dooler, was one of the original members. What if they're still watching? William Dooler, a member of... Where the fuck is it? Not the church. I guess the church. I mean... Dooler. Beatrice Dooler's William was a founding member. Woof. Okay. What year was it? I thought this was 1889. Yeah, it would have to be 1889 because the note was appended before 79. So... There it was, 84. Nope, it's something completely different. No necromancers here. This might be a user submitted. Papa smiled affably up at the cavalryman. We're simply foraging, with your leave, of course. And what's that she's got there? I cowered behind Papa's cloak, clutching my basket to my chest. Inside, a superb death cap lurked beneath a tumble of field mushrooms. Child I might be, but I did not think the locals would like that. Just the makings of a fine mushroom stew. Guards harumphed and rode onward. Only when they'd vanished in the thicket did I dare breathe again. Come, child, said Papa. There's no raising the dead without a fresh body. I don't want to read this again, nor the similar issue number 10.
Academicalist's Journal, issue 10.
Can't believe I missed one. AJ 35. I missed an obvious one.
Academicalist Journal, issue 10.
Almost there, chat.
Silverton has taken his reputation and watched it.
I probably won't come in under an hour, but I'll be close.
The house was major and minor. They work is a symphony of this place.
Reading JS31 made me seek out issue number 10 of Academicalist's Journal to get Latour's take on it. He says Silverton should become Kendrick's butler, since he will be waiting on his every word regardless. There's no explanation for why Silverton lost it. Maybe the literary review covered it at one point. Apparently because his wife wrote a good book. Yeah.
Yes, Kendrick was known for his quick wit and roving eye. But what was less well known was that he was a sucker punch if you smiled at him. The first woman to figure this out was Emma Mayfield. She took him from the cleaners.
Matter in the dark?
That's not it. So I'm missing 2 titles, and one of them has to be for Quentin.
All right then.
And I'm missing 2 books. One of them has to be Matter in the Dark, which I don't know where I got that title. That is one thing I wish I could look up. Well, here's what I know, because I now have this logo. I do now understand. There's another literary review, and there's another Quentin Le Marchand, which will probably give me the title of 24. He died in 24. And he's French. That's really all we know about him. See if I can get any hints in here.
The aggregate of all observations made by all systems.
Biggest ideas start small, except in this case.
Conscious thought contains intrinsic balance.
Unlucky number of years later, that was 24.
Under bridges. But the alteration of conscious thought
At
by
scale.
unconscious means can affect meaningful, unnegative change.
And then 18.
The occurrence of DMEs will not be measured from historical information, only inferred.
Died 6 years later.
Revision events and computing the correlation
Cover is
coefficient
marked
to
draft.
starting results.
We'll infer what's missing. There was a final journal. It was destroyed. AJ wrote about it in issue number 1, 2 years after Marchand died.
I come to the home of rational thought. Let's begin with a comparison.
I'm looking for the final version of the revisions. He published even as he lay dying. But wait, I know that, but I don't have the title. Journal would run for 45 years, 37 issues under the steady hand of Monsieur Latour. I suppose these guys are sketches because either they're not authors or else I haven't found like every one of their comments. Maybe I don't know that that would happen. Well, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking maybe for if it's a final version of revisions. Obviously, it was destroyed, but maybe it somehow ended. That one, duh. No such.
Will not be measured from historical information, only inferred. Plotting, revision events,
Could it have been
and computing
post-mortem?
correlation coefficient. A startling result.
Final version destroyed by the Academicalist's Journal, or not by the Academicalist's Journal. What year was that?
Okay.
Oh, it was 2 years. 26.
Welcome to the home of rational thought. Let's begin with
They
the
wrote about it. It was destroyed in RC, or its destruction is referred to. Vision. So could it be? No. Oh, I'm so puzzled by this because, well, QL11 implies that it's his first thing.
Will not be measured from historical information, only inferred. Plotting, revision events, and computing the correlation coefficient. A startling result.
Give up on that for now. There's more literary reviews. I could just try to brute force this. There's sort of... They didn't publish during the war. '21 was the one I had? Or 22? 22.
If we write like cowards, and we talk like cowards, we become cowards. A coward will stick up for no one, even themselves. Dictators love a good coward. They are easy meat. They taste like chicken.
Didn't publish during the war. But, you know, if I'm brute forcing, I'm brute forcing. think I already had this one, yeah.
Kendrick was known for his quick wit.
Which ones did I have? 53, 59, 65, and 81.
Was that he was a sucker punch if you smiled at him. The first woman to figure this out was Emma Mayfair, and she took him to the cleaners.
This isn't the most fun way to do this, for sure, but... 3, 8, 6, 7. Okay, let me just go through the 70s. Oops. God, you know, I'm so close. Oh, that's not the one.
The idea that we might bring someone back from the dead has always fascinated the human mind, to unlike that most final of writings. It was the death of the man I truly loved that
LR-99.
Literary.
The literal last one.
Literary review, volume 90.
I'm learning I should brute force from the back. That means one more find and one more title. We need a code for Matter in the Dark and a title for QL.
Matter in the Dark?
That's all we need here. Magazine really hit its stride and became something truly indispensable. Every school child knows nothing has molded the 20th century thought quite like the literary review. You'll hate this, Father, really hate it. Volume 90 of Literary Review. I can hear your voice. Sheer puffery. Editors backslapping themselves for making the full century, even when they didn't. I know, Pierre Latour was supposedly a resistance hero, but that book from 72 is puffery too. Or was he the other lot?
All right then.
If only they knew what you had here. If only they knew about EK's book. End piece. Father, I'm worried someone does know. The next card I write will be about that. I almost wiped this. It felt like I was despoiling this place. Luckily, I know the password. Mother told me it's a family secret. Is it Bill? This doesn't really help me with anything. I already know PL-72.
All right then.
Did they say that? Yep, I got my little logo for that.
Dearest Mayflower, your army has returned from Avalon. We were the cleverest of the three of us. I'm so glad we get to tell you that now.
Why didn't that one have a title attached until just now? Whatever. Oof. I'm running out of places. Xavier Youngman doesn't even have a picture. Dog, I'm so close. It could be something from Cecil. Maybe the year he died? No. 76. Okay, that's something. Rating this Jarly because I'm writing this early because I'm... Whoa. This one's really... He's getting vertigo. He's getting weaker. He can feel himself slipping. He dies the next year. My mind has always been my rock. I feel vertigo. So first I thought a book... At first I thought on the pages... I thought a book, How Poison on the Pages, The Tale of Dubon from AG04. I mean, I think that might be it. Two, but no, it's more serious than that. I know from my research that words create a popniag, which can be realized, a potential which can be realized. That is why the books in this archive are destroyed as they are something ingested. That's why this machine must be kept secret. These books may be studied cautiously, yes, but they must not be closely observed. Dobb has it. The Dobbs have it. Now has it come to this? All for one end, whose mind I never respected anyway. All for one man whose mind I never respected anyway. It is the height of foolish piss. The correct pattern for life was so plain for all to see. All I had to do was conform to it. AG04 or AD45. Let's try these. These might just be books that are not core entries. Yeah, this, okay, 1001 Nights. Been unable to satisfy myself with exactly who wrote this book or when. It's infuriating indexing old books because they do not have authors. Instead, they seem to assemble themselves over time, like The Sugar-Frosted Nutsack by Mark Lehner. How can one build on such quicksand? So I've indexed the 1001 Nights under the name and date of its European translator, despite this most definitely being incorrect. I find myself, like the Sultan himself, thoroughly dissatisfied by this outcome. That would be the tale of... I don't know whose name that is. Dubon, I guess? I have to admit, I've never read The Knights. Queen Margaret. Woman's strength lies not in her physical prowess, but in her ability to manipulate and strategize. Dumas, oh maybe Dumas. Dumas' Queen Margot is full of villainy and plot and assassination. Poisonings abound. It is a romp, no more, no less. Beatrice adores it. Well, that was fun. I found something, but it's not what I was looking for. I'm gonna go back here. Oh, that was the 10th year. JS-24's Greenwalker and XY-55. That's why he didn't have a picture, because I hadn't found his stuff.
better in the dark.
Okay, you didn't really have to brute
are
force that.
entangled with the concepts that they embody, and with the conscious preconceptions that animate those concepts. Thus, words have a power to create as well as to describe.
Youngman's first book, short, simple, and obsessed with the observation of Mars through poor quality telescopes. DME isn't mentioned. How could it be? Then Youngman idly suggests that he sees more on rereading his own text than was initially present. Many years later, he looked deep into that pool. Another milestone for me. I'll have to file another of my decade markers. Okay. Also, Latour is quite wrong. Quite wrong. Not bad for someone born in the 18th century, even if only just. Okay. Yeah, this is just his,
Okay, let's see.
Do I know what... Where's this fucker? I got it. It was staring me in the face. Age 68. Mr. Le Marchand. As soon as I can complete a simple math problem, you're finished. Notes and discoveries.
Notes and discoveries. Notes and discoveries.
It's his birth. They file archives at the... Oh, that's sad. It's his fucking gravestone. They file indexes on the date of birth, the year of birth. And I forgot this because it was really only relevant for these two, I think. Is there anyone else who has an author index? It's funny. That's cute though, because they teach you it. Well, Youngman is not plot irrelevant, but Ursula is. Like, she's really not a big deal. She's just the daughter of an important guy, but she herself didn't have a huge imprint on the world. However, she teaches you that there's an author index filed on UL-42, which you use, which I could have used at any time to find these two. Although this guy, I only just learned that he was born in the previous century when I found XY-55, which I found by brute forcing, but I could have found by extrapolating here that he did it the first one and then the 10th one and then the 20th year, and he didn't make it to the 30th. But this is like kind of, I mean, I brute forced it, but I can see how I could have found that. I don't know what I have to do to get these guys photos. Maybe nothing. Let's read this one out. Remember that gaps contain more substance than pillars. Review early texts for lacunae. Review Pemberton. She saw it all. Folding over nodding. Lines as structure. Well, I did it. I've got my beautiful little 50 there. I got my Steam achievement. That is 21 out of 21 Steam achievements. I've done it! I still don't know what the red dots are, or for that matter, the asterisks. I still don't know.
Oh
However,
my god. What did I do? What did I do?
oh, shit. Display results.
This is it. This is everything I need to know.
Head revision. EK-77, the end piece, is predicated on Silverton 40, predicated on PK-37, predicated on DP-08, Pemberton 08. That's interesting because these are not the ones I destroyed. Base revision unknown. I think it's Youngman. I think it's XY-78. Xavier Youngman 78. Cannot even identify other minor single head revisions exist. But if you go to this, we learn about her reading something.
I've spoken to the greatest mind of our generation. And I'm assured of just one thing.
We somehow learned that she had read Xavier Youngman when she, like, wasn't supposed to. But, yeah, I mean...
Alright then.
I sort of had earlier figured out some of the... I don't suppose I can go back. No. Hold on. Let's stop Abby. Deactivate it. I mean, I've done it. I already got the endings in a different timeline. I don't need to do it again, right?
It was the closing of the day.
One more ending.
She loosed the chain, and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away.
I just had another idea. I had another idea. What if I make Abby? Abby has been destroyed, the future is trapped. Oh, that's the bad end. I mean, I could have deduced that was the bad end. Rewind last action. Hold on. Enter code for bitwise reassociation. Is that what it is? Yeah, LI-44. Maybe that doesn't work. What about me? No. It's not Bill either. I don't know what there are a couple of these codes I haven't figured out. But I will say I've gotten every Steam achievement, and I've seen now 4 endings of various qualities, including the one... Oops. The one I got from wiping this, XY-78. Aborted. I want to wipe.
Oh, I really hope this works. But then
I'm just running it back.
I wonder if I'll even know.
But it's a great, the concept of finishing this game it's a great time to talk about this podcast episode was good. It was it just came out this week. Maybe it's not the true ending because there's
Abby?
Still 13 left.
Abby, can you hear me?
This is John Ingle's voice.
Of course you can't.
It's only a machine, Dad.
I know. When we built her, B and I, we thought she'd get clever enough to speak, but I'm a little too old for fairy stories, I suppose.
It did what it was meant to do in the war.
Well, that's that. No, I just wanted you to see it. Just the once. Come on, Alice. Let's go.
We saw this once before.
The web was woven curiously. The charm is broken utterly. Draw near and fear not. This is I.
I think this one gave me actual credits. Yeah. Well, as these are rolling, I'll just talk a little bit about. So John Ingold was on what's it called? My Perfect Console is a podcast. And he's said this before other times. So this is not a new idea I'm hearing. But one of the things I really love about Inkle games, I am a bit of a completionist. I'm not a hardcore completionist by any means. Like I don't have a list of games I've platinumed or whatever. But I do have an impulse to try to see everything in a game, you know? And Inkle, John Ingold, really, sort of describes, you know, he tends to make games where it's sort of impossible to see everything. And he does that not as a challenge for the real freaks out there to, you know, play 80 days 200 million times to see every possible bit of text in 80 days. But because the way he describes it, he's like, why is it that gamers of a certain breed, I guess, approach games as though seeing everything is a meaningful or I guess a meaningful way. I mean, he can put it a little more eloquently than I can, of course. But you know, why is it that seeing everything is a meaningful value or way to assess a game? Oh my, William Golding, fuck that guy. That's a story for another day, perhaps, why I hate William Golding. And I agree that even though I'm someone like, you know, Hollow Knight is a game that I have, you know, played for so many hours. I've seen just about every single thing in that game, and I've gone out of my way to go find things that give no rewards whatsoever just because I wanted to see them. And the trap is unsprung. The future is free. The TR-49 is unsprung. But I do really like that. You know, being able to approach a game without the conceit of seeing everything or whatever, you know, that's just not an objective because you don't even really think about a lot. I think, you don't really think about that when you play Inkle games. There are a lot of games where seeing everything is kind of impossible. I think of Baldur's Gate 3 as a game where, you just, how many times would you have to play that game to see every permutation of every choice as every class, as every subclass, as every, whatever. It's just not feasible. However, I don't find that the game design of games like Baldur's Gate free me, at least, from desiring to find everything. And so I play games like that, and I'm not trying to pick on Baldur's Gate 3 especially. There's a lot of games fall into that same genre. I play these games sort of with a shackle of like, I want to do as much as I can, but I know I'm never going to be fully satisfied with like the 100%. Whereas I feel like the way that Inkle designs games really unburdens me from even thinking about the stuff I'm not seeing or the stuff that I haven't seen yet. And I'm really just like, approaching these games is just like, have I gotten out of it what I want to get out? Like, have I done it? Have I had a good time? And that's one of the reasons why I love them so much. Despite, oftentimes I don't play their games anywhere near to completion. And Expelled is a good example of a game that I really liked. If you watched my streams of it, I was having a good time with Expelled. And I know at the end of my final stream of Expelled, I did think to myself, oh, maybe I'll do what I'm doing right now, which was maybe I'll go play it on my own and maybe I'll record it, maybe I won't. I actually haven't. I haven't played Expelled since April when I stopped streaming it. But it's not because I don't like the game. And I know there were still things that I could have done in that game. I also know Highland Song, which I also streamed, same story. I know there are things in Highland Song which I never did. And that one does sort of have a checklist, a little bit more like this game of like, can you identify every peak in that game? There's like, I don't know, 30 something of them like that. And I didn't do it. And, I put down a Highland Song after I beat it 3 times, I think. And my playtime in that game is probably something like 6 to 8 hours. Yeah, 6.3 hours. I'm just looking at my Steam page right now. And I feel like there are a lot of games where if I played them for just 3 hours, I would be somehow disappointed. Not because the game necessarily was bad, but just because I'm like, oh man, I couldn't get more mileage out of this. And all I'm trying to say is that I really appreciate that Inkle, something about the way they design their games doesn't encourage me to, or even maybe it actively discourages me from evaluating them on the basis of how much it was or how much I saw or how much there is left to see. And I just engage with it, with what I'm doing and for how long I'm doing it. And if that means I only named 15 peaks and not 25 or 30 of them, but I still had a good time for those 6 hours that I played, that's perfectly good. I will say Highland Song was not my favorite of their games, and neither was Expelled. I liked them both very much, but they didn't fully blow my mind, I would say TR-49 was like, this was one where I really wanted to dive in and finish it. And now I have. So if you've watched this far for some reason, thanks for watching. Yeah, I would say this goes right up with Heaven's Vault. I mean, I maybe not quite on the level of Heaven's Vault, but I enjoyed the hell out of Heaven's Vault, one of my favorite games ever, and I enjoyed the hell out of this. So they're both high on my list of Inkle games. But I love every Inkle game I've played, and there are, I think, 2 that I haven't played. I still haven't played Sorcery, which is probably one of their better known games. And I do like Steve Jackson generally, so maybe that would be fun. I'd like to do it. It's on my list. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Took me about an hour and 20 minutes, and then I've been yapping for another 15. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't stream this, I guess. But anyway, thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.